My friends, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now and stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share with you could be the most important thing you hear all month. If you're receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, and you've gotten a letter in the mail recently from the Social Security Administration or the Department of the Treasury, please do not throw it away. Do not set it aside on the counter. Do not leave it unopened on the kitchen table thinking it's junk mail. That letter could be telling you that your monthly benefit check is about to be reduced, and in some cases, cut in half, starting as soon as next month. I know that sounds alarming. And I know a lot of you out there are already living on tight budgets, counting every dollar, planning every grocery trip around that monthly deposit. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening, why the SSA is sending these notices, what a benefit offset actually means in plain English, and most importantly, what you can do right now to protect your income and potentially fight back. Stay with me because this is going to be one of the most important conversations we've ever had together. So let's start from the beginning and let me explain what's actually going on. The Social Security Administration has been sending out what are called overpayment notices to hundreds of thousands of beneficiaries across the country. Now, an overpayment happens when the SSA determines that they paid you more money than you were entitled to receive. And now they want that money back. I know. That feels completely backwards. You followed the rules, you filled out your forms, you reported what you were supposed to report, and now they're coming after you? Well, unfortunately, yes. That is exactly what's happening. And it doesn't matter if the overpayment was the SSA's own mistake, and in many cases it was, they still have the legal authority to collect that money from your future checks. Here's the part that has so many of our seniors completely blindsided. Under a policy that the SSA has been enforcing more aggressively in recent months, if you do not respond to an overpayment notice or request a waiver, the agency can withhold 100% of your monthly benefit. That means your entire check, until the debt is recovered. And if you're on SSDI or retirement benefits and you owe, say, $4,000 in overpayments, they have the ability to take that out of your monthly payments in large chunks, sometimes as much as 50% of your check, every single month until it's paid off. For someone living on $2,400 or $1,600 a month, losing half of that can mean the difference between keeping your lights on or not. It can mean choosing between your blood pressure medication and your electric bill. And that is not right, but it is real, and it is happening right now. Now, I want to give you a specific example, so this really hits home. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Margaret. Margaret is 72 years old. She lives in Ohio, and she's been receiving her Social Security retirement benefit of $1,120 a month for the past several years. Back in 2022, she briefly worked part-time at a local craft store. She was earning a little extra money for the holidays, and she thought she had reported everything correctly. Well, the SSA recently determined that during that short period, she had received approximately $2,800 more in benefits than she should have based on her earnings that year. She got a letter in January. She didn't fully understand what it meant. She set it aside. And in February, her direct deposit came in at $760 instead of $1,520. Half her check gone. Margaret had to call her daughter in a panic. She didn't know what hit her. That is the reality for so many people right now. And Margaret's story is not unusual. It is happening all over this country. So what exactly should you do if you receive one of these notices? And let's be clear, this also applies to SSI recipients, SSDI recipients, and in some cases, even veterans who receive concurrent benefits from both the VA and the SSA. The very first thing you need to do is open that letter immediately and read every word. I know government letters can feel overwhelming and confusing, but this one matters. The notice will tell you the amount the SSA believes you were overpaid, the time period it covers, and the deadline by which you need to respond. That deadline is critical. You typically have 60 days from the date on the letter to request a waiver or file an appeal. If you miss that window, your options become much more limited. The second thing I want you to know is that you have rights. And one of the most powerful rights you have is the right to request a waiver. A waiver is essentially asking the SSA to forgive the debt. You're telling them, I didn't cause this overpayment, it wasn't my fault, and repaying it would cause me financial hardship. The SSA uses a two-part test when considering a waiver. First, they look at whether the overpayment was your fault, meaning, did you knowingly give them wrong information or fail to report a change in your situation? And second, they look at whether repaying the money would cause you financial hardship. If you can show both of those things, and for many of our seniors that is absolutely true, the SSA has the authority to waive the entire debt, completely forgiven, gone. That is a real option, and too many people never ask for it because they simply don't know it exists. Now let's talk about what's happening more broadly with your benefits, because there are also some genuinely positive updates mixed in with all of this that I want to make sure you don't miss. The 2025 cost of living adjustment, the COLA, came in at 2.5%, which took effect with the January payments. For the average Social Security retirement recipient, that translated to roughly an extra $49 to $55 per month. For SSDI recipients, the average increase was in the range of $38 per month. And for SSI recipients, the maximum federal benefit rate went up to $967 per month for individuals and $1,450 for couples. Now, those numbers may not sound enormous, but over the course of a full year, that extra money adds up to real dollars. And for families living on fixed incomes, every dollar counts. But here's something critically important I want you to pay attention to. If you are also receiving Medicare Part B, your premium went up again in 2025 to $185 per month. That premium is automatically deducted from your Social Security check. So while your COLA gave you a little bump, some or even most of that increase may have already been absorbed by the higher Medicare premium. The net impact for many people has been smaller than expected, and for some lower income seniors, their take-home amount barely changed at all. This is one of those hidden realities that the headlines don't always capture. Let me also take a moment to speak directly to our veterans who are watching, because I know many of you receive both VA disability compensation and Social Security benefits, and the rules around how those payments interact can be genuinely confusing. The good news is that VA disability compensation is not counted as earned income for Social Security purposes, so receiving VA benefits does not reduce your Social Security retirement or SSDI payment. However, if you are receiving SSI, supplemental security income, the rules are different. VA payments are partially counted as income when determining your SSI eligibility and payment amount, which means some veterans on SSI may see their monthly SSI amount reduced based on the VA compensation they receive. There is also an important program that many veterans and their surviving spouses are not taking full advantage of, and that is the VA Aid and Attendance Benefit. This is a pension benefit for veterans or surviving spouses who need help with daily living activities, and it can provide an additional $800 to over $2,000 per month on top of your existing benefits. It does not affect your Social Security payment. If you or a loved one is a veteran who needs help with bathing, dressing, meals, or medication management, this benefit could be life-changing, and far too few people know it exists. Now I want to bring up something that many of our viewers find uncomfortable to talk about, and that's taxes. If your combined income, meaning your Social Security benefits plus any other income you receive, goes above certain thresholds, a portion of your Social Security benefit may be subject to federal income tax. For individuals, if your combined income is between $25,000 and $34,000, up to 50% of your Social Security benefits could be taxable. If it's above $34,000, up to 85% could be taxable. For married couples filing jointly, those thresholds are $32,000 and $44,000 respectively. I bring this up now because with the COLA increase, bumping some people's incomes slightly higher, there are seniors who may cross these thresholds in 2025 who didn't cross them last year. If that sounds like it could be you, please talk to a tax professional or reach out to your local ARP tax aid program, which offers free tax preparation assistance specifically for seniors. Let me also quickly remind you about the Social Security earnings limit, because some of you are working part-time and may not realize how this affects you. If you have not yet reached your full retirement age, which for most of you watching is between 66 and 67 depending on your birth year, and you are receiving Social Security retirement benefits while still working, there is a limit to how much you can earn before your benefits are temporarily reduced. In 2025, that earnings limit is $22,320 per year. For every $2 you earn above that amount, $1 is withheld from your benefits. Now, this is not a permanent reduction. Once you reach full retirement age, those withheld amounts are credited back to you in the form of a slightly higher monthly benefit going forward. But in the short term, it can feel like a shock to see your check decrease, especially if you weren't aware this rule existed. My friends, I want to close today by reminding you of something very simple but very powerful. You are not alone in navigating all of this. The Social Security system is complicated, the rules change, the letters can be intimidating, and it can feel like you're fighting a giant machine all by yourself. but there are resources available to you. If you receive an overpayment notice, you can call the SSA directly at 1-800-772-2113 and ask to speak with a claims representative. You can also walk into your local Social Security field office in person. And I strongly encourage you to do that if you can, because speaking with someone face-to-face often gets better results than a phone call. If you need help appealing a decision, look into your local legal aid office, which provides free legal assistance to low-income seniors. And if you're a veteran dealing with VA benefit issues, your state's Veteran Service Organization, groups like the American Legion, the VFW, or the DAV, can provide free help navigating your claims at no cost to you. The most important thing you can do right now is open your mail, read your letters, and act before those deadlines pass. The SSA cannot take away your rights, but they can take your money if you don't respond. So please, share this video with a family member, a neighbor, a friend from church, or anyone you know who is on Social Security. Because the more people who know about these rules, the better protected our whole community will be. I'll be here every week bringing you the latest updates. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.